And I know you told me this off camera, but you have one of the funniest stories about meeting Steve Jobs for the first time. Can you talk about the first day that you met Steve Jobs?
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, when it was a smaller company, they used to do some really fun things. Through a huge holiday party, one of the things that they did was everybody dressed up for Halloween. And the dynamic was such that if you didn't dress up for Halloween, you were like a pariah. Like people made fun of you, stone you, throw tomatoes, stuff like that. But I was dressed up that year. The movie Zoolander had just come out.
Of course.
Classic. I shouldn't even be talking about it right now because it's not ready. But I dressed up as Hansel, who's played by Owen Wilson, and my buddy Eric dressed up as Zoolander. And so the costumes made a ton of sense when they were together. But when we were apart, right, I had a long blonde wig on and a flowing kind of robe, and it basically just looked like I was in drag.
Were you riding a Razor scooter too?
I did have a Razor scooter.
Love that touch.
I did have a Razor scooter, but it was parked at the time that this story occurred. But I was seated outside the little cafeteria area, and it was right at lunchtime, so it was packed. And I was seated at a table that had two other seats available at it. So I was sitting solo, and out comes Steve from the main entrance, and he's kind of walking out with his tray, and he's looking left and right for a place to sit. And there's really obviously no place to sit but at my table.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, was he wearing his classic?
Oh yeah.
Black turtleneck or no costume though?
No costume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he went as Steve Jobs. Eventually you just get to go as yourself.
Got it.
Something to strive for.
Mm-hmm.
But he's walking out in his classic mock turtleneck and jeans, and sees me at my table with an empty seat. And he kind of makes eye contact, and of course you invite your CEO to sit down, and it looks like they need a place to sit. And so he sits down, and immediately I'm keenly aware of the fact that I'm in a Hansel costume, and he probably has no idea who that character is. And so there's an awkward moment of silence, and he says, so what are you supposed to be? And I try to explain Zoolander and who Hansel is, and there's another awkward moment of silence. And I finally just say, well, chances that you meet your CEO for the first time while dressed in drag, 100%. And without missing a beat, he looks at me and says, it was a gutsy call, man. It was a gutsy call. And what was really interesting was that really was the first time I met him. And then throughout my career at Apple, which spanned about 5 years, I got to interact with him a lot, worked with him on a number of different projects. And so had as most people, compared to most people at the company, I had a relatively close relationship with him.